So why did I decide to run my first marathon with just 3 months to prepare? Why not start with a half marathon, a more manageable 21 kilometers? And if I've never liked running, why put myself through this? These were the questions everyone asked me when I announced my registration for the 2024 Barcelona Marathon. Honestly, I asked myself the same questions. Why would someone who never enjoyed running take on such a daunting challenge in such a short time? Is it because I'm approaching my 30s, a milestone that made me crave something extraordinary? I don't know. Or did I simply need a break of the monotony of everyday life? The answer is probably a mix of both. Like many others my age, I felt the urge to push my limits and prove something to myself. But what exactly? That part wasn't clear. What I did know was that my life felt stuck on pause, and I needed a dramatic way to press play again. And then came Kevin, a triathlete friend who, during a casual chat about the Barcelona half marathon, said, "Why not go for the full marathon? If you want a real challenge, make it 42 kilometers." That was the spark I needed, a real challenge. 3 months to train for a marathon. 3 months to go from 0 to 42 kilometers. No more time to waste. Let's get started.
Oh my God, I'm just playing with them now, yeah. Oh my God, what she's saying, say it loud, yeah. I can't respect it, I'm in the gym, but I am not flexing. Came from a Ford, I'm needing the Lexus. Shooting like Luke, I told him I'm next, shit.
No, actually not at all. The truth is, I got sick during the first 2 weeks of training, so I did nothing for those 2 weeks. And then it was time to start a bit more slowly. The training plan was simple. I needed to start by getting my body used to running small distances slowly and then gradually increase until running a maximum of 35 kilometers. And all of it within 9 weeks. The beginning of the training was great. I managed to run a new record distance of 15 kilometers without pushing myself too much. It was enough to motivate me. Running 4 times a week also gave me a sense of accomplishment that I hadn't felt since moving to Barcelona 2 years ago. I was so proud to finally show some discipline in my life. And 5 weeks before the race, I was ready for the next big milestone. A distance of half a marathon. What I initially considered my goal for 2024 had now just become a step in my training. And that feeling was exhilarating. During the following weeks, I used this feeling to push myself more and more. And unfortunately, in my euphoria, I skipped some steps. And neither my body nor my mind were ready. For the first time in 6 weeks of training, I began to doubt myself. If I wasn't able to run 28 kilometers today, then how was I supposed to run 14 more in 3 weeks? This failure really discouraged me, and I wanted to give up. But after 3 days of rest without running, I found a motivation again and was determined to finish my training and do my best during the last 3 weeks. This failure was the kick I needed to finish the training. And a week before the Barcelona Marathon, I even managed to run 32 kilometers. Kevin then told me to rest to be in shape for the big day and that the last 10 kilometers would be run with mental strength. I was so close to achieving everything I had trained for over the past 9 weeks. But that last 32 kilometer run had pushed me to my limits, leaving me full of doubt the day before the marathon. Just when I needed it the most, I got a surprise at home that lifted my spirits and gave me the courage to face the challenge ahead. My parents surprised me. They came from Belgium to cheer me on in this adventure here in Barcelona. And with Kevin running the race with me after being my coach these last months, his girlfriend and my girlfriend ready to come support us during the race, and now my parents coming to see their son potentially do the impossible, I was ready to give it my all for the race. Despite the badly timed cold, my morale was super high for what was going to be the biggest challenge of my life.
Hi, baby.
Hey. Breakfast is then super important. The goal is to fill up on slow and fast burning calories and maintain them throughout the whole race. For that, nothing beats bananas and protein bars that I put in my bag. The morning of your first marathon is something quite special, even weird. Despite all the good company I had around me, the desire to accomplish what I had trained for all these weeks was almost equal to my fear of not being able to finish the 42 kilometers. So I didn't talk much that morning. But as I got closer and closer to the starting point, the adrenaline started to kick in and I finally managed to forget my stress a little.
Les premiers sont déjà partis, on est le dernier groupe parce qu'on est les plus lents bien sûr. Notre but aujourd'hui, objectif 4h30. Donc on a des drapeaux à suivre. Je pense qu'on commence dans 5 minutes.
There are 17,000 people around us, and we are all facing this challenge together. There are people of all ages from all over Europe to come and run in this beautiful city. Everyone is looking at each other with a huge smile, but also with anxiety in their eyes. We all know the next few hours will be very hard, but we're all super excited to start. Kevin and I have finally started, and I am filled with endorphins and can't stop smiling.
Kilomètre 0.
I see my loved ones almost every 3 kilometers, which fills me with even more happiness and encourages me greatly.
Allez, encore 4 heures, encore 4 heures, allez.
Time passes, it gets hotter and hotter. I take off my jacket and reach the first quarter of the race with enough energy to talk. At least for now.
10 km dans la poche. On est toujours avec les drapeaux de 4h30. Tout se passe bien. On profite.
The first part of the race was amazing. The route allowed the supporters to see us often, and we also passed by all the most beautiful monuments of the city. So time flies and we have already reached the next milestone.
Kilomètre numéro 20. Il reste plus qu'un peu plus qu'à moitié. Tout va encore bien. Un peu fatigué, mais ça va. Rien de trop grave. Allez, c'est parti.
I've just run a half marathon, which initially was my challenge for 2024 for me, but now it's just half of the course. So I'm super happy with myself. But 5-6 kilometers later, I really start to tire. My body is heavy, my legs begin to slow down, and my mind starts to weaken a lot. Also, I knew I was entering the part of the course where our supporters couldn't come because we were getting too far from the center and the finish line. So I no longer had the energy to talk to the camera, and I tried drinking Aquarius and eating protein bars to give my body energy. But my body wasn't digesting anything anymore, and I even had to stop at the bathroom. Those 10 minutes spent on the toilet helped me physically and mentally because it gave me a little break. But I knew the real challenge of the marathon was just beginning now, in the last 12 kilometers of the race. Of course, I no longer had the energy to take out the GoPro, and I was even forced to stop and walk for an entire kilometer because I was exhausted. I then relaunched into the race, wanting to speed up to make up for lost time, and even took out the camera again. But I immediately got a huge cramp that paralyzed me. Kevin has seen me suffer for 15 kilometers now and doesn't know what to say to me anymore. But his support was crucial. If he wasn't there, I would have given up for sure. In all this pain, we finally find our supporters at kilometer 40. I am at the end of my rope. Even so close to the goal, I wanted to stop. But I thought about all those difficult moments during the training, and with my loved ones and my girlfriend cheering me on, I found a boost of energy and even started sprinting to the finish line. That's it, I did it. I crossed the finish line. And all I want is to find Frederica and hold her in my arms and have a good cry. But unfortunately, they didn't expect me to speed up so much, given the state I was in, and they missed my arrival.
Comment est-ce que vous êtes arrivés comme ça? On était là,
On a sprinté.
Et ils ont dit le nom?
Hein?
Ils ont dit vos noms?
Je sais même pas.
I can finally take my girlfriend in my arms, who also helps me walk, by the way, and the feeling is just incredible. I have officially ran a full marathon distance, and I did all of this in less than 3 months. I can really be proud of myself. Thanks for watching.